Hello, warm greetings of today to all of you. So, here I, Kunal Nagpal, once again welcome you on this amazing podium wherein, dear friends, we discuss the really significant news relevant to the global economy and the Indian economy in particular. Because the current times which are going on are quite turbulent, and in these gloomy economic situations, we need to be aware regarding what is going on in our external environment and what all strategic policies our really visionary leaders are actually planning to execute and implement in our Indian economic outlook. So today's topic of discussion would be to actually analyze the viewpoints posed by Mr S Jai Shankar ji regarding India's stance on the ongoing Ukraine-Russia war, which is basically going on since 24th February 2022, and it is actually intensifying with each passing day. So in today's session, we would basically try to go through various viewpoints posed by this great pioneer, that is why India is staying neutral on the ongoing Ukraine-Russia war. So here it goes. Mr. S Jai Shankar defends India's neutral stance over Ukraine-Russia crisis. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar recently justified India's neutral stance on the Russia-Ukraine crisis and said he is not running the country's foreign policy on the demands of other people. He was referring to India's decision to basically stay neutral over the Russia-Ukraine crisis amid pressure from the West to take sides or be judged by history. He further said, "I'm not running a foreign policy for the demands of other people. My foreign policy is for what is in my country's and my people's interest. I believe that India's interests are well served. We advocate sovereignty and want the conflict to end. And I think that is the right thing to do. Had I done what the United States said, I would have been of no use to anyone, including myself, that is advocating the principle of authenticity to the self and others as well," Mr. S. Jaishankar told Rahul Shiv Shankarji, Editor-in-Chief, Times Now at the Times Now Summit 2022. "Sometimes I have lived with the things that you, that is West, did. Now live with it, that is India's foreign policy," he said, while underlining that India's stance is a more serious view of the Russia-Ukraine crisis, underlining that the world is a tough place, that is the current economic situation existing in the global scenario are quite turbulent, and it is actually expected to actually intensify in the near future. Mr. S. Jaishankar said that it cannot be an easy place for India as well. Admitting the fact that India has a neighbor which is a safe haven for terrorism, Mr. S. Jaishankar said that in the international relationships, it is impossible for the two countries to have identical views on the issues. Well justified. He was referring to China's step of basically clear-cut intransigence over designating 2611 mastermind Hafiz Saeed, a Pakistan-based terrorist, as a global terrorist at the United Nations Security Council. So, indirectly pulling up the previous governments that resulted in the debacle of the 1962 with China. Mr. Jaishankar said that the places were basically the Chinese villages wherein the line of actual control came up, and these areas we lost in 1962. That is emphasizing on the fact of LAC. That is, those territories at those times were basically lost in 1962. When Rajiv Gandhi went to visit China, India and China were the economies of the same size, he noted. He further emphasized that India would need the right kind of leadership in order to navigate the next half a decade that will be, according to him, quite turbulent. So obviously we need to pay a lot of emphasis on the topic of strategic leadership. And truly speaking, my dear friends, we are in the excellent hands which are basically steering the ship of our economy in a very, very extraordinary manner. That is, these are the times of upstream. So we need to go against the flow. That is, a lot of threats are being posed by the global economic situation, by the overall global economic environment. So the overall policies we are basically basically intending to plan and execute need to be really extraordinary, helping India, which is actually a developing economy, to steer away the tough tides. The minister shared that he believes that the next 5 years, that is till 2027, these times would be quite stormy, and to navigate such choppy waters, India would need the right kind of leadership. That's what we emphasized. Addressing how much pressing times should be navigated by India's leadership, Mr. S Jai Shankar said, we need to do so by studying the economy in detail, doing as strongly as we can, executing the reforms we can do that should have been done a long time ago. We have to see that India's rise continues amid the turbulence. That is, we need to act very, very, very proactively and wisely. Mr. S Jai Shankar said that since he deals a lot with the way foreign nations see India, he can share that they do have a better perspective on India's achievements than perhaps those in India do. So, on this note, my dear friends, I would like to end today's session, and I hope it was a really insightful session for you as well. So I basically would be delighted if you share your comments or your feedback in the comment section below, so that we can incorporate your valuable suggestions in our upcoming sessions. So thank you so much. Jai Hind.